guys, it's Alexis Diorio, and it's really great to be able to do another video. And today's video, I wanted to finally kind of tell the story about the two other spirits that I've mentioned before in my spirit guide video. And this video I guess it's kind of like a story time, kind of explaining the type of relationship and why these two spirits cling on to me. I've explained before that these two spirits aren't good spirits. They're not spirits that I am necessarily happy that hang around me. So let's jump into that. So a while back, I went to a psychic medium, and she had talked about my spirit guide. And my spirit guide is a spirit who is attached to me from past life, who's my father in past life. One thing that I have to note about one of my past lives specifically is that I had been in a way, like a very powerful witch, a very powerful spiritualist. And what had happened in that life is that someone found that I had been very powerful, and they exploited my powers and stuff. And in doing so, I built up a level of negative energy, and created a very detrimental connection to my soul's energy. And what has happened is there are spirits that have followed me throughout every life after that, as to where they are connected to my soul. And after finding this out, it always kind of it made sense to me, because I don't like practicing that type of magic, that type of I try to stay away from hexes and curses and anything that is that will do harm and purposely causes harm, because my soul just recognized in this life that is just something that I should not touch. Or maybe it is my lesson in this life is to learn that I shouldn't be using that stuff. So basically, these two spirits follow me pretty much everywhere I go. And I have had a couple people come to my house and report to me, all these odd things that have happened. And it really, it tends to creep people out. I feel like that's why people don't like me in the beginning, is because they feel that, very weird energy around me. I once had a friend come over, and it's really strange because the first time I met her, but we've since become very great friends, and she just looked at me, the first time meeting, looked at me and said, she was just she's like, who's the person who's watching you? And I looked at her and I was just that could be a number of things. And she's like, it doesn't go into your house. And I was just like, well, I don't really know what that is, so I can't really tell you. And I've had another friend who, hangs around and stuff, and one day she's like, I just don't feel like I just don't feel like it's human. She's like, whatever it is that follows you around, she's like, I don't see it as human. I've had people report some type of thing growling at them, some type of thing stalking them around my house, and that's generally the feeling that I get from this whatever, there's two of them, whatever type of entity it is. It's not a human entity. It's not a spirit or soul. It's very inhuman, and it's very eerie when it actually presents itself to you. A lot of people are creeped out about it. I'm creeped out about it, but yeah. So this is like, it's a very like complicated situation with it, but there is two of them. I kind of refer to him as a trickster because if you watched my spirit guide video, I talked about how it tries to present itself as a human and picks features people in my life. It has been like my mother-in-law, it's been my grandmother, it's been my boyfriend. Like, it will pick people that I trust or people that are heavily influenced my life at the time and kind of like mock them, like mock how they look and mock their personality. But it's something weird, like when I see them as like I can tell the difference between whether or not it's like my mother-in-law, whether or not it was my ex-boyfriend, whether or not it was my grandmother. And actually the really scary part as when it featured itself as my grandmother. My grandmother has been dead since I was 11, and it did it when I was 16. And my grandmother has never came to me, and when it featured as her, I just knew something was wrong. It's just, I don't feel like my grandmother would ever, I don't think my grandmother would ever physically present herself to me. I don't know why, I just don't feel like she would. And if she was to do it, she would have already done it at some time in my life. It's just, I know I keep on like referring to it as one, it's actually two, because like, I remember one time when, I was sitting around a table with two of my best friends, and we're just sitting there, and all of a sudden, my, front door, well, it's actually my back door, I just use it as my front door, my back door just slammed itself open, and we all just kind of sat there, and after it slammed open, the temperature in my house dropped, and it was just really kind of freaky. And one thing that I have found odd is there's one room in my house. I was going to create it and make it into my office, so my office wasn't in my kitchen. But people have reported to me when they sleep, it's currently like a spare bedroom. People have reported to me that they can't sleep in this bedroom because something is watching them. My sister was staying with us, and she reported that the door would just open itself. Things like the bed would like shake. When my best friend was staying in that room, she said that she couldn't sleep if she wasn't facing the window, because if she was facing the window, she felt like she could watch whatever was watching her. Also, one of the weirdest things that have happened is my husband and I generally won't go in, like, I generally won't go in the room. The room creeps me out. The room has creeped me out ever since, the door swung open by itself. Ever since, I won't go into that room. And I feel like whatever type of entity this is has decided that that's its room. And for all, like, purposes, you can have that room. Just leave. Just stay in that room. But, one day, my husband walked up to me, and he was just like, were you in the spare bedroom? And I was just like, no, I have no purpose to go in the spare bedroom. And he said to me, he's like, well, this morning, I walked by it, and the door was wide open with the light on. And I was just like, no, did not open that door, did not turn the light on, did not turn the light on and shut the door. I was like, I do not touch that door. I do not go in that room. I was like, that room freaks me out. Like, that did not happen. And this has happened ever since. Basically, I feel like the spirit had let itself into my house, and I know you're saying, like, sage your house, clean your house, and I do that. I have the crystals, I have it where they're supposed to be, I sage my house, I do the salt cauldron, which is when you put salt in a cauldron and you leave it out in the hearth of your house, and every week you change it out and destroy the salt. I do that. I tell it to get out, and most of the time it coexists in my house, but sometimes it does get agitated, sometimes it does do whatever it wants. It doesn't, it's, you can tell when the spirit is actually around and when it's not. And it really, really creeps out a lot of people that come to my house, and I generally feel that's why animals don't like me, is because it goes everywhere I go. It gives me like extreme anxiety, and part of me just feels like this is going to be my entire life, just combating these two spirits. But I really hope you enjoyed this like story time. I guess it's a story time, just kind of like me talking about this spirit. But if you like this story and want to hear more stories, subscribe. If you like the video, like it. And if you have any suggestions for future videos, please comment a suggestion down in the comment section, and have a fantastic day.